Welcome to the Forefront Radio. Welcome to the Forefront Radio. There's a lot of weirdos out here, man. There's a lot of weirdos pushing a lot of rhetoric and a lot of dogma and a lot of doctrine that is just strange. Strange indeed. Watch this. In the book of Second Timothy chapter 3 verse 1, it says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God." Now, this individual on the screen, named Tariq Nasheed, literally was a former pimp, a Mac, that is now deceiving the people with this false dogma called FBA, Foundational Black American. I'm a foundational Black American. And people are falling for these lies while he steals their money, while he steals their thoughts, and makes them disassociate themselves from other melanated communities that are only separated by captivity and colonization and slave ships. Y'all, we're going to get right into this, y'all. Welcome to the Forefront Radio, where the truth does not fear investigation. I got a clip for y'all. Listen to this here. Listen to this clip we got here. Tariq Nasheed himself speaking on this thing. Quote, "Tariq Nasheed trying to tag SA trafficking and napping of Black women, BA women, on African and Caribbean immigrants. Shake my head. Another dangerous rhetoric from FBA leader. African and Caribbean immigrants are not out here napping and graping Black women or Black Africans or Black Americans. Say no to Afrophobia." Watch this. Listen to this. I'm about to, man, this thing is baffling.
African and Caribbean cats coming over here, getting in law enforcement, coming over here, working in the correctional facilities, and they're getting into all types of abuses over here against us. There was one African correctional officer who was raping people up there in Maryland. They arrested this African correction officer for raping inmates. You see what I'm saying?
So he ain't got no smoke for Christopher Columbus and his cohorts that came over here graping the indigenous Black folks and the indigenous Latinos and other folks, right? He ain't got no smoke for the Weinsteins and them that's been doing this forever and a day. He ain't got no smoke for Abercrombie and Fitch that's doing all manner of evil. But he's talking about one instance of a correctional facility doing something egregious, instead of tearing down the whole correctional facility systems that speak evil of our people and do evil to our people. You're going to one person. Come on, man. This can't be reality.
Down in Atlanta, you got, not only do you have these non-FBA cops out here, you have these non-FBA people who are impersonating cops out there. There was some dude who was Caribbean he works for a security company, but he was rigging his car to make it look like a cop car, and they gave him a citation on it, and he was begging, "Oh, please, don't do this." So they gave him a citation for rigging his car to make it look like he was an actual cop. And I say this, these tethers going around places like Atlanta pretending to be cops. What happens if they pull over a sister and they're pretending to be a cop and this sister goes along with them? What's going to happen in a situation like that? Does that have something to do with so many sisters turning up missing? You feel me? I got more questions now. These tethers running around here acting like they're cops. Now they pull over some sister who's driving by herself somewhere, unsuspecting she's driving by herself. she gets into the back of a fake cop car and nobody ever sees her again. It's not documented. This is not recorded anywhere. This is not, nobody knows what happens. I think that has a lot to do with the sex trafficking. Do y'all remember in...
Wait a minute. Hold on a second, y'all. You can't make this stuff up. Now this man is accusing people from the Caribbean islands, people from Africa, people from the diaspora, his own people as being responsible for trafficking when these black folks don't even own a damn airport. What the hell is this dude talking about? They don't own no airports around here, bruh. You understand? They don't own no shipping containers around here, bruh. That's all European folks. This is, y'all, you can't make this stuff up, y'all. You can't make this stuff up. Now let's look up that term that he liked to use, right? That term that he likes to use called tether. Let's look up that term right there, because that's on his website. That's on his website, y'all. That's literally on his website, where he's calling people this derogatory term called tether. Let's look at it real quick. Right here. Y'all see that on the screen? Anchored tethers who view FBA society as a group to exploit and ultimately replace. This dude is using the same rhetoric from Eurocentric delusionalists talking about, you will not replace us. You will not replace us. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. Welcome to the Forefront Radio, where we expose the FBA deception.
You are now listening to The Forefront Radio, where we discuss history, the Bible, the history of the Israelites, science, and other matters. Bring it out. The history of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as it relates to the Bible. Who were you prior to slavery? Who were you prior to colonization? These answers and more can be seen and heard as you listen to The Forefront Radio.
Welcome back to the Forefront Radio. Welcome back to the Forefront Radio, where truth meets history, where truth meets history, and where we unite the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Today's topic we're going to discuss is hard, but a necessary one to discuss. We're talking about exposing the deception of so-called foundational Black American ideology promoted by Tariq Nasheed. This false ideology is not only historically inaccurate, but spiritually dangerous, because it divides melanated people, Black people, who should be uniting in this prophetic hour. Now, the FBA movement, which is spearheaded by Tariq Nasheed, claims falsely that only Black people whose ancestors were enslaved on United States soil are the true foundational people of America. They exclude Black Caribbeans, they exclude Afro-Latinos, they exclude African immigrants as outsiders, failing to realize that our people have been scattered across the globe, not by coincidence, but by Bible prophecy, y'all. It was a global slave trade system of our ancestors. But for some strange reason, he just wants to focus on the 13 colonies, 1776. What's going on? Why are people this intellectually like deceived when our people have been scattered into all nations, not just in America, not just in America? You understand? So it's very important for us to wake up to this deception. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1, it says, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. So we are not foundational Black Americans. We are the 12 tribes that are scattered. Now, James, a leader of the early church and a brother of the Messiah, opens his letter not to Gentiles or to Romans, but specifically to the 12 tribes of Jacob who were scattered abroad. Now, who are the scattered tribes? This letter alone crushes the FBA ideology. Why? because in the first century AD, the tribes of Israel were already starting to become dispersed. That scattering intensified over the centuries through different captivities over the period of time that we've existed on the earth, from the Assyrian captivity to the Babylonian captivities to Roman colonization to Arabic, Islamic, Turkic slave trades between the 7th to the 19th century, from the transatlantic slave trade and war against our ancestors to European colonization of Africa and the Americas. The Israelites were sold across continents to Europe, to the Caribbean islands, to South America, and to North America, classified by every colonizer as Negro, as slave, as Indios, as indigenous, as aboriginal, as African, as mulatto, as mestizo, as musties, as darkies, but their blood remains Afro-Hebraic. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64, it says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even to the other." So that's telling us that this scattering was not only physical, but also linguistic, cultural, generational, ensuring that Israelites would forget who they were, fulfilling the prophecy in Jeremiah 17, verse 4, that says that we would discontinue from our heritage. And somebody might ask the question, where's the historical proof? Let's look at documented history. From a book called Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor, on page 84, it says, "In the year 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it is estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of Black Israelite captives, slaves." So this quote confirms what we read in James chapter 1, verse 1, which references the 12 tribes which were scattered abroad, many of them into Africa, where they later became captives again under European powers, y'all, and shipped to the Americas. That includes who? Jamaican Maroons, who were called Morenos. Those were Israelites. Descendants of West African and Hebrew exiles, as well as American exiles. Haitian revolutionaries with Torah-based customs brought from Benin and the Kingdom of Judah. Black Brazilians practicing early Judaism before the Inquisition. Afro-Panamanians and Trinidadians. Descendants of the exiled Hebrews from the Gold Coast and Angola. All of this history must be looked at. Now, let's look at this, for example, right? Let's look at this, for example, because he'll try to separate our people into different ideologies and different things, right? And say, oh, you're not original foundational Black Americans. Y'all, that's the dumbest thing ever. And people are still falling for this. People are still falling for this. So guess what? We're going to go into history and we're going to talk about prominent Black people of the diaspora that were in the Americas and helped found things going on in America. Because the only thing that separates you from a Haitian or a Puerto Rican or a Dominican was a slave ship, Negro. That's it. Watch this. Look at this on the screen. Look at this on the screen. Look at this on the screen. Sidney Bechet. Can y'all see that on the screen? Sidney Bechet, born in New Orleans to Haitian parents, was a pivotal figure in early jazz music, known for his virtuosity on the clarinet and soprano saxophone. He is celebrated as one of the history's first and most brilliant soloists, influencing countless musicians with his distinctive sound and improv talents. So one of the founders of jazz music in America, was a black man with Haitian parents from New Orleans. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. But this person will call this man a tether. This person, Tariq Nasheed, will call Sidney Bechet, founder of jazz music from Haitian parents. He'll say, "Oh, you're a tether. Well, we're not dealing with you because you're a tether." What the hell? What the hell? So music and culture is established by our people in the diaspora. And nobody, y'all, let's be real. Let's be serious here. When you get pulled over by the cops, they're not gonna say, "Hey, let me see your FBA documentation, please. Let me see your foundational Black American documentation, please. Are you a Haitian, a Jamaican, a Puerto Rican?" They don't give a damn. They don't care. So this man is pushing same Eurocentric delusional rhetoric to separate our people, to say, "Oh, we're foundational Black Americans, so we're different from them folks." What ideology are y'all following out here? Let's look at another person that's prominent. Let's look at DJ Kool Herc. DJ Kool Herc, born Clive Campbell in Jamaica, is widely recognized as a pioneer of hip hop culture, particularly for his contributions in the Bronx, New York. He's often called the father of hip hop. So, according to Tariq Nasheed, he'll call DJ Kool Herc a damn tether, right? He's called the father of hip hop for his innovative DJ skills, right? And the parties he hosted that laid the groundwork for the genre. Y'all, we wouldn't have hip hop as we know it today without Clive Campbell, DJ Kool Herc. But leave it up to this joker, leave it up to Tariq Nasheed, right? And he'll have you looking goofy calling the father of hip hop a tether. You understand? That's why this ideology got to stop, man. People are deceived out here by false movements. I wouldn't be surprised if this person was an agent, because he's pushing so much division when we should unite more than ever. I had a sister come up on my TikTok page and was mad as hell about Juneteenth and said, "Hey, Juneteenth, I don't like Juneteenth because you got Haitians cooking mac and cheese, you got Jamaicans dancing at our parade, and I'm sitting there like, yo, y'all, what's the difference between a captive that was taken from South Carolina and brought to the Bermuda Islands, who was a descendant of the Pico tribes? Now he's reclassified as a Negro, and then his descendants come back after 300 years of being captive in St. David's Islands and Bermuda, right? Comes back to America, and here go a Negro talking about, we ain't the same people. You ain't like me. Y'all not like us." They start singing, they not like us. You understand? They start singing, what's that guy name? Not Kevin, Kendrick Lamar. You understand? They start singing Kendrick Lamar, right? So another prominent person I will touch on is Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte was Jamaican, y'all. Harry Belafonte was Jamaican. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? He brought Caribbean rhythm to the global stage and funded civil rights. He funded civil rights, y'all. Harry Belafonte was Jamaican, y'all. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know that, right? Y'all know Harry Belafonte was Jamaican, right? Y'all didn't know that? Oh, I thought Harry Belafonte was a foundational Black American. Nah, he Jamaican. Y'all, it's so easy to dismantle this dummy doctrine, man. Watch this. Caribbean National News. Look at this. Jamaican government to name highway in honor of Harry Belafonte. Groundbreaking singer activist Harry Belafonte passed away 2023. You see that? So an activist, humanitarian, and actor and singer, right, who passed away for having some heart issues, right? He is Jamaican. So now, according to Tariq Nasheed, we just gonna call him a tether now. We're just gonna disrespect a pioneer in the civil rights movement. You can't make this stuff up. It's so easy to dismantle this dummy doctrine, y'all. It's so easy to do it. You understand? Let's touch on another one. Let's touch on film and art. Yeah, who heard of Cicely Tyson? Who heard of Cicely Tyson? Have you heard of Cicely Tyson? I know I heard of Cicely Tyson. Who heard of Cicely Tyson? Cicely Tyson. Watch this, watch this. I'm gonna show you about Cicely Tyson real quick. Because y'all want to follow this FBA foolishness, right? Y'all want to follow that, right? Look at this right here. Cicely Tyson. Parents were immigrants from Nevis, a Caribbean island. Her mother, Theodosia, was a domestic worker, and her father, William, worked as a carpenter and a painter. They raised Cicely and her siblings in East Harlem, New York. Wait a minute. So Cicely Tyson is prominent actress, well known actress, famous, on top of famous actress, right? Born around 1924. You understand? Her relatives is from the Caribbean islands. You understand? So you falling for this FBA stuff, not realizing prominent Americans that's been born and raised here from New York City. You'll call her a New York girl in a hot minute and not realize that her relatives is from the Caribbean islands. You understand? Shalom to you. Shalom to you. Hope you're doing all right. Let's read some of the comments here. Let's read some of the comments here. Here go one comment. Jazz said, I had to block him from FBA stuff. Is insane. He treats people horribly. All right. Here go another one. I've been thinking he is an agent. Exactly. When you sow division amongst your own people, and guess what? The Eurocentric delusionalists, they cool with him. They real cool with him. They don't got no problem with this man pushing division amongst the people. As long as he could blame it on the white man and say the white man is the one that's causing division and secretly really push division while he's blaming the white man for division, but he's pushing division on his own people. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. Right? He says, dividing the diaspora, is that clickbait? No, he literally is speaking evil of people he's speaking evil of Caribbean islanders. He's speaking evil of Africans. He's speaking evil of people in Latin America. Saying if you're not foundational Black America, meaning if you ain't from the 13 colonies, nigga, we don't recognize you. Something is wrong. Something is wrong with the mindset where Black folks will say, we've been oppressed together, we've been enslaved together, we fighting for freedom together, but this one man is having a talking point to separate Blacks from the United States from Black Canadians, Black Mexicans, Black Haitians, Black Dominicans, Black Puerto Ricans, Black Brazilians, Black people from Nigeria. Y'all, why the hell Europeans from all other nations can come together and say, I don't care if I'm German, I'm still going to work with somebody from Poland. I don't care if I'm from Czechoslovakia or some shit, but I could work with somebody from London or Paris, France. Y'all, these European people been unaliving each other by the boatloads when they was back in their own shit. You understand? When they was in their own countries, they was deleting each other back left and right. You want to talk about tribalism? Go to Europe. You understand? Somebody made the statement. I've been around African, Caribbeans, or Jamaicans, and I've never seen any unity among them. The concept of Pan-Africanism is delusional. Y'all, we not pushing Pan-Africanism here. That's where you get it twisted. This platform is about the 12 tribes which are scattered. We know there's tribalism amongst our people. But now is the time to unite, not separate. Now is the time to work together, not be divided. You understand? So let's touch on a few more prominent people, right, that we know of that has had influence on the United States of America. And not only that, represent both Hollywood, and they have had influence on both fashion, film, and the Black Power movement. You understand? Who heard of Grace Jones? Who's heard of Grace Jones? You ever heard of Grace Jones? I've heard of Grace Jones. Who's heard of Grace Jones? Let's look up Grace Jones real quick. Let's look up Grace Jones. Watch this. Let me show it to you on the screen. This is Grace Jones right here. Look at this right here. Grace Jones, 77 years old. Grace Jones, my Jamaican guy from Reggae Session. Grace Jones. This lady is a Jamaican singer and songwriter and model. She's been in the United States for years. Years. Grace was born in 1948, and she's a Jamaican singer. Look at all the movies she's been in. A View to Kill, 1985. Conan the Destroyer, 1984. Vamp, 1986. Boomerang, 1992. Grace Jones, Bloodlight and Bammy, 2017. I know some of y'all seen these movies. I seen Boomerang before. I seen Conan the Destroyer, right? So this lady was in these movies, y'all. But let it be up to Tariq Nasheed, and he gonna be like, oh nah, she a tether. She shouldn't be. She trying to steal stuff from us. She trying to steal stuff from us. We can't. Her twin brother is a pastor. I didn't know. I didn't even know that. I didn't know her twin brother was a pastor. Her twin brother was a pastor. I disagree because FBAs were the only ones pushing Pan-Africanism for the past 60 years. Sure, you got a few, but FBAs are better on their own. Yo, good luck with that on Judgment Day, bruh. Good luck with that. Mental OG can't figure out that foundational Black American is a made-up damn term by Tariq Nasheed. You Negroes was not calling yourself no damn foundational Black American prior to 1776. Watch this. Let me show you what the Bible say. Watch this. Let's go to Deuteronomy. I'm going to show you something. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's read verse. We are the Hebrews of the Bible. That's who we are. The original. Hebrew, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Meaning, you would call yourself derogatory terms. That is not your original term. You were never called foundational Black American. You were never called Negro. You never called Black. That's a color in a crayon box. Who are your ancestors prior to slavery? Your ancestors were Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You wasn't called no foundational Black American. You understand? Y'all gotta look up words. Y'all gotta look up what words mean. You can't just rely on people telling you something. You understand? And then go running with it, thinking that it's normal when it's not normal. Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you this made-up term. Watch this. Let's do a Google search on foundation. What is a foundation? Look at this. Foundation. The lowest load-bearing part of a building, typically below ground level. You see this? So you're basically saying that you are the foundation that everybody walked on in order to get ahead in life. People had to put their footing, their base. You are the base. You are the substructure. You're the understructure, the underpinning, the bottom of the bottom, the bedrock, the substratum. That's what you call yourself when you say you're the foundation. You're the foundation. That means everybody had to walk on you in order to get ahead in this world. You want to be on the bottom? When God says you're the greatest nation on the earth, that's the very definition of foundation, the floor. You want to call yourself that? Be that. Watch this. You want to call yourself foundational Black American? Watch this. Amerigo Vespucci. Look at this right here. This is who America is named after. Amerigo's Vespucci. So you're on the bottom calling yourself foundational Black American, right? And then you're calling yourself after Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian navigator. Look at this. Famous Italian navigator born at Florence, 1451. So you call yourself the foundation that everybody walks on, and then you call yourself after a European man. None of y'all Negroes look like y'all European to me. None of y'all look like y'all Europeans to me. Are you Italian, brother? Are you Italian? Are you Italian? You understand? You know why this is important, y'all? This is important because words have meaning. Words have meaning. You have to understand the truth concerning your history. Words have meaning, folks. There's other prominent people out here, right? For example, Marcus Garvey, who was a Jamaican leader and a Pan-Africanist and a black nationalist from Harlem. Guess what he was? Jamaican. Jamaican. What's another prominent originator of the Black Power? Who was the originator of saying Black Power? Who was the originator? Watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. Stokely Carmichael. He changed his name to Kwame Ture, right? Born around 1941. Passed away around 1998. Stokely Carmichael, founder of the phrase Black Power. Guess what? He is Jamaican. He's Jamaican. He's Jamaican. He's Jamaican. So Stokely Carmichael, who was prominent during the civil rights era, right? Right? He is what? The founder of the phrase Black Power. Stokely Carmichael was Trinidadian. If I said Jamaican, my bad. He was Trinidadian. Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman in Congress. Shirley Chisholm. Guess what? Guess what, folks? She's Barbadian and Guyanese. The first black woman in Congress was from the Caribbean islands. You understand? You understand? The first black woman. Let's look it up. Let me show it to you. Let me show. I do not support anything that divides our people. Let me show it to you. Y'all see this here? Shirley Anita Chisholm, right? November 1924, passed away 2005, was an American politician who in 1968 became the first black woman to be elected to the United States Congress. Guess what? This first black woman, right, who was elected, her relatives were what? Guess what? Barbadian and Guyanese. Then you got the abolition and freedom fighters. For example, you got Toussaint Louverture, who was from Haiti, who inspired global slave revolts, including in America. You got John Baptiste du Sablé of Haitian descent, who was the founder of Chicago. Y'all, the founder of Chicago was a Haitian man. What are you talking about, foundational Black American? That's a made-up term. You wasn't calling yourself that. We are the Israelites of the Bible. We don't follow Tariq Nasheed over here. You understand? We don't follow Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed don't even believe in the Bible, y'all. So why are we following his dogma? Black folks need to wake up. We are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. You are God's chosen people. The Bible warned you in the last days that there will be men following after their own lusts. And this man literally got a book about being a pimp and a player. And that's who y'all want to follow? Instead of following the Black Messiah, following the scriptures, unifying our people, you want to go under these divisive people that call themselves foundational Black American. Look at this. Look at this. Founder of Chicago. This dismantles FBA to the T. John Baptiste Point du Sablé of Haitian, meaning the tribe of Levi, descent, is recognized as the founder of Chicago. How you get a foundational Black American that's a Haitian? Uh-oh. All of these people that's in Chicago running around right now. That city was established by a Haitian tribe of Levi, son. He established a trading post and farm at the mouth of the Chicago River around 1779. That's 3 years after 1776, which became the first permanent settlement in the area, meaning he was trying to get the people that were held as captives free as early as 1779. Because guess what? The Haitian Revolution was between 1770s to 1804. So they was fighting against slavery and captivity, right? From a early time. You understand? Y'all, what are we talking about with this finance? Y'all, what are we talking about? We are the Israelites. That's who we are. Foundational Black American is BS. Stop calling yourself that. Stop following these fornicators, whoremongers, and adulterers that's pushing that dogma. You understand? The founding American cities like Chicago, founded by John Baptiste Point de Sable, a Black man of Haitian and African descent, an Israelite. Savannah, Georgia, for example, also was freed Africans from Angola and the Caribbean islands who helped to develop it. So if you go to Savannah, Georgia right now, you wouldn't even realize it was Blacks from Angola and the Caribbean islands that developed that city in Savannah, Georgia. The whole entire New Orleans and the New Orleans, Louisiana territory, right, was populated by enslaved free Blacks from Haiti, from Martinique, from Guyana, and other French and Spanish colonies. Before the 13 colonies, there was a whole entire Louisiana territory, right, owned by the French. And they were taking captives back and forth from the island of Haiti, from Martinique, from French Guyana, from Senegal, from Mauritius, and other French colonies. Back and forth, back and forth. Y'all, it's time to wake up. We are the scattered tribes of Jacob. We are Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulon, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar. That's who we are. The Most High is waking us up in the United States, in Canada, in Jamaica, in Nigeria, in Haiti, in Trinidad and Tobago, in Ghana, in America, in Panama, in Brazil, and beyond. Y'all, let's read Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 10. Let's read Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 10, real quick. Let's read Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 10. What does the Bible say? It says, from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. Shall bring mine offering. So, y'all, we got scattered beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, beyond the borders of our territory in the continent of Africa. We got displaced into all nations. Y'all, reject FBA and embrace unity. FBA is a false flag. It mislabels allies as enemies and breaks apart what God is trying to restore. Tariq Nasheed's rhetoric, while entertaining, it make me laugh. To some, it's a spiritual virus that weakens the body of Christ, y'all. Watch this. Let's read Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. What does the Bible say? Gather yourselves together. Ye gather together, O nation not desired. When you get pulled over by the cops, they're not going to stop and ask you, are you Haitian? Are you Jamaican? Are you Puerto Rican? They just going to see your black face and say, all right, go to jail. Don't collect $200. You understand? You understand? We are the nation that's not desired. We are the people that are not liked on the planet. So we should unify as a people instead of be divisive. Here's the thing. Eurocentric delusionalism got so big that they stopped fighting against the same people that's trying to oppress them. And instead they want to beg the white man for their dirty crumbs of a check. Give me reparations, massa. Give me reparations. I want my money, massa. They worship money instead of God. We're looking for the Most High to destroy Babylon. We ain't looking for no blood money. For what? And all they got to do is give y'all Negroes $1 million and then make the inflation rates go sky high. And that's it. 20, 30 years from now, you're going to have houses that cost $1 million that used to cost $400,000, $500,000. Just like back in the 80s, Our parents' homes used to cost 40 to 50,000. Now those same homes cost 400 to 500,000. In another 30 years, those same cribs gonna cost $1 million or more. And they could give y'all checks if y'all want. All they got to do is raise the price of housing, raise the price of food. So who the hell cares about their blood money and their reparations? Our reparations is Christ coming on the scene and destroying Babylon. That's our reparations. When we rule the entire planet instead of begging for a check from the same people that oppressed us, man, wake up. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. Let's read verse 22. Ezekiel 37, verse 22. It says, and I will make them one nation, meaning you're not going to be categorizing yourself under different categorizations. You're not going to call yourself a color in a crayon box. You understand? You're not going to call yourself a color in a crayon box. You're going to unite. It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. Upon the what? Upon the mountains of Israel. Upon what? Upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. Who's the king? Christ. Who's the king? Christ. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. What Tariq Nasheed is pushing is dividing our people in the diaspora. If you don't see it, I can't help you. But if you do see the deception and call it out for what it is, a man that's grifting the people, taking money off of y'all, separating y'all and got y'all fist fighting each other and boxing each other on social media, while the real enemy is laughing in your face. Like the people that's wearing the MAGA hats, right? Like the people that's running ICE agents and trying to kidnap little children and put them in prison, right? And deport their cousins and mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, right? And at the same time, taking black people and deporting them too. Yeah, I know they could take black people that are born in the United States and deport them to Sudan, right? That's what they're doing undercover, and you don't even know that. They're deporting black people to places like El Salvador. They don't give a damn if you got U.S. citizenship or not. Y'all understand what they're doing? They're equating immigration to terrorism. So all they got to do is say, oh, you're aiding and abetting a terrorist. That way we're going to deport your black ass too. We don't care if you call yourself a U.S. citizen. Y'all better wake up and smell the coffee, man. Watch this. Yeah, and you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. Yeah, and that didn't happen. Y'all, I got a scoff on my live. I got I got a scoff on my live. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. There are U.S. citizens being detained by ICE. You do know that, right? Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do know that that's what's going on, right? Buddy said that didn't happen, and I got to prove a scoffer wrong. Look at this, 20 hours ago. Family outraged as U.S. citizen detained by federal, detained by federal what? ICE agents, hello. U.S. citizen speaks out after being detained by Border Patrol, U.S. citizen released after ICE arrest in Pico Rivera. Y'all, that was 2 hours ago. That was 2 hours ago. That was 2 hours ago. Y'all think we're making this up? Just because, y'all, the children of Israel and the children of Judah are oppressed together. Look at this. 1 day ago, ICE in hot water. Dozens of U.S. citizens wrongfully deported in shocking whatever. You see that? Officials say U.S. citizens in the Dominican Republic awaiting deportation was found unalive in her cell. Y'all better wake up, man. Y'all better wake up. Inside the global deal making behind Trump's mass deportations, are U.S. citizens in New Jersey being targeted for deportation? Pass Immigrant Trust Act. Y'all see that? While y'all arguing about foundational Black American, right? They pulling a rug from up under you, right? While y'all saying, yeah, and that ain't happening, while y'all fighting amongst yourselves, here go the white man deporting all y'all black asses. Keep playing with this Bible. Keep playing with this Bible instead of repenting and coming together like God told you to do. Okay? So we're showing you the truth of what's going on in your society, your nation, your country, but you distracted while this man sells his t-shirts, while he sells his stupid trinkets, right? While he makes other promotions for different things and makes money off y'all asses. Now y'all talking about, oh, we should work together. We should build together. We should nah. You want to follow him, keep following him. Don't come to the side where people are trying to live righteous. If you want to be in the midst of people that are full of strife, full of anger and hatred for their own people that look like them, miss me with that, man. This is a black man that hates black people. What are y'all talking about out here? If I speak regular English, right, he'll be like, yo, where you from? You from New York or something, bro? What's going on? You my homie, you my friend, right? That's what he gonna say. But if I start to speak Spanish or start to speak French or start to speak Portuguese, now this nigga gonna be like, oh, you ain't from here, you a tether, you something else. I don't like you. Y'all, it's fake. Faker than a $3 bill. Y'all don't see this dude is fake, man. Y'all don't see he's making money all that off of y'all. Y'all, if y'all don't get it, I can't help you. Thank you for listening to the Forefront Radio, where the truth does not fear investigation. Make sure you research people and look up what they into and what they talking about. All right. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our account here on the Forefront Radio here on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many other platforms. Shalom.